Hey guys, what up? Total Control 871, and welcome back to the BitChute. Coming to you with a snippet today. This isn't going to be a very long video at all. I came across this Vice News video. The video itself, it's about 15 minutes, about 16 minutes there, as you can see. As we see here in our disclaimer, put up by Vice, several of the claims about COVID-19 treatment and prevention methods in this video are unsubstantiated and outright false. Vice News shares this video with the intention of reporting on the rampant misinformation surrounding COVID-19. Now, some of that disclaimer I agree with, and other parts of it that that I don't agree with. Where's my halls? What caught my eye about this video was, I hate it when they get sticky in the wrapper. I hate that. You know, it hasn't been that humid. I don't know why they're so damn sticky. Okay, so anyway, there's something interesting about this particular documentary, a documentary short, I guess you could say. Apparently down in Bolivia, they have a home remedy of sorts. And the locals, like this gentleman here, who is getting an IV drip made of this home remedy concoction. There's something interesting about this documentary that they tend to overlook and gloss over. I really have no idea what chlorine dioxide is. It doesn't sound very medicinal. You know, it doesn't sound very medicinal. And obviously, this whole piece, it's meant as a... this is our would-be chemist. He's not a doctor, has no medical engineering. Here he is. He is saying that I'm talking about the dynasties, the Rockefellers, Morgans, and the Rothschilds. He's not wrong. Those are dynasties, and they do have their own diabolical agenda. However, this guy who claims to be an engineer, quite frankly, I don't even know if he's an actual engineer or not. I mean, is he basically the Bolivian version of Breaking Bad? I really don't know. I can tell you this. I seriously doubt I would accept any kind of medical help from him. The doctors, again, I'm going to use some air quotes here. The doctors that are featured in this documentary, I don't think I would really take medical treatment from them. Not if I didn't have to, you know. I don't know if I've made myself clear on a lot of the surrounding treatments, alternative treatments. I don't know if that's the correct word to use or not, but obviously your ivermectin, hydroxychloroquine. I can tell you right now, Facebook and YouTube and all the other platforms, you're not doing yourself any favor by banning videos that mention the word, like I just said, ivermectin. Apparently, from what I'm gathering, that will get, just saying the word will get your video deleted and taken down. You're not doing yourself any kind of favor by having that kind of draconian censorship. Frankly, you're only driving people to guys like this when you have that kind of censorship. That's what I think. It is true. You're never going to be able to protect every soft, malleable mind from the sinister snare of a would-be cult leader. I mean, hey, the supplement industry makes billions every year off of people who are looking for a pill shortcut to whatever it is that they want done. Obviously at the tippity top of that wish list is going to be a weight loss pill. Matter of fact, I think it's been a while since we've had a popular diet trend, and I think we might we might even be overdue. What was it? Who remembers Ally? And the big complaint was that it gave like a pizza oil discharge in your stool. Like your stool was really greasy and gross, and I think before Ally, and I think Ally, the average weight loss for Ally was something like 30 pounds. When you are a morbidly overweight person like myself who weighs 530 pounds, losing 30 pounds really isn't that big of a deal. Maybe Ally was good for, I don't know, some chick that's slightly chunky, a slightly chunky chick. I don't know, maybe she would run to that sort of a thing. But Ally couldn't really help the people who were really, you had a lot of really like people who were 100 plus pounds overweight that were really hoping that Ally would save them, and it didn't happen. And of course, before Ally, I think maybe late 90s, right? Late 90s. Oh man, the Fen-Phen. Everybody was running to Fen-Phen. Don't ask me the whole long scientific word for it, but it was Fen-Phen. And of course, we would later learn and find out in the long run, long study, that thing that suddenly the FDA no longer gives a shit about, to put its FDA stamp. As a matter of fact, was Fen-Phen was FDA approved? I mean, if we're being honest here, if we really want to talk about not just simply your chloroquine, what is it called now? Chloroquine dioxide, ivermectins, hydroxychloroquine, and all the dynasty injections, as our Breaking Bad chemist here would point out. The Pfizer, Moderna's, AstraZeneca, Johnson & Johnson, all the big pharma giants, If you really want to talk about drugs and their history of really fucking people up, okay? Fine, then let's talk about it. Let's not just simply talk about the obscure Breaking Bad, I think I think this thing opens up, he's got where's his, there's his mad scientist lab. He's a mad scientist. There we are. That's the shot I'm looking for. I mean, he's basically concocting his concoction on what looks like the top of a dresser. Bear in mind, some of this shit gets injected into your body. It's not just simply from what I understand, it is both injected and ingested. It is taken orally and injected. So, I mean, yeah, but hold on here, because like I say, we're going to talk about this type of stuff. Let's not just simply talk about our basement Breaking Bad scientist. Let's talk about all of it. Fen-Phen was supposed to be the wonder drug for weight loss, and it destroyed people's organs. It put the only thing Fen-Phen did was drive people onto the organ transplant list. Okay. It really fucked a lot of people up who were turning to it. And it really does beg to question, what the hell is the FDA doing? This is supposed to be an organization that's supposed to protect us. Yet, apparently, if there's enough money involved, their stamp, boom, boom. It's just a rubber stamp. Their approval stamp. As long as they're paid enough money. I don't even know if I want to go into that thing right now. Maybe later in the video. But yes, so let's just give a little listen here so you can hear a little bit about what we're talking about.
Con este curan el COVID y con este limpian los pulmones.
Total.
200 más 150, 350. Listo.
Fernando Arce is making and selling chlorine dioxide. It's an industrial bleach used to disinfect swimming pools and floors. But Arce is one of the many anti-vaxxers who's convinced this chemical prevents and cures COVID by killing viruses inside the body, just like it does on surfaces.
Empezamos. Se sale lo fuerte del dióxido que queda en el recipiente de la última vez. Ok. Cuando ya llegó la pandemia y llegué a producir 1000 frascos. Creo que ganaba como 80,000 bolivianos al mes, más o menos. Hemos hecho dióxido en media hora. Agarro, lleno 1 litro de agua fría y aquí le pongo 20 ml de dióxido. Cada hora tomo un vaso de 100 ml. Les voy a invitar 50 ml. Y me hace bien. No me daña el hígado, ni los riñones, ni el corazón, como la FDA.
The Food and Drug Administration and virtually every major health organization in the world says ingesting chlorine dioxide can be dangerous and even deadly. But that isn't stopping Arce. He has no medical training. He's an engineer.
Mi objetivo era descubrir que ese medicamento funcionaba en cualquier enfermedad.
Tú sabes que eso suena un poco loco, ¿no? O sea,
Sí.
que el dióxido de cloro puede curar cientos de enfermedades.
Exacto.
Eso suena loco.
Sí, suena loco porque nos adoctrinaron a pensar de que eso no es posible.
¿De quién estamos hablando?
De las dinastías Rockefeller, a la familia Morgan, Rothschild. ¿Por qué? Por el simple hecho de mantener sus fortunas y su control, su dominio mundial. Esos son psicópatas.
No eres químico,
No,
ni eres médico.
no.
Aún así tú estás vendiendo un medicamento.
Sí.
¿Eso no es absurdo?
No.
Yeah, so this dude, I'm sorry, I forgot his name already. It's like the second time I'm watching this video and I forgot his name already. He's a hustler, What his name is probably charlatan, Now he is not only is he claiming that his concoction can cure COVID, but that it can cure hundreds of diseases. Tell me this man doesn't have the stink of traveling salesmen all over him, okay? As far as I'm concerned, he's every bit the charlatan as the big pharma that he is railing against. Honestly, I think you're just simply a satellite predator, okay? There's the big predator. I can use a marine life analogy. It isn't like there are whales and sharks and smaller fish kind of hang around them, steering clear of their jaws, of course. But when they go to feed, when the big fish goes to feed, there are little bits that are off that the smaller fish will, that's how they get there. That's how they feed. I think he is just a smaller fish in orbit around Big Pharma. He's every bit indeed an opportunist, a predator opportunist that's just simply preying on people who are desperate, who are scared. I think he's every bit as dangerous as Big Pharma. Maybe even more dangerous. Although I really don't know which one would be more dangerous, because Big Pharma reaches a lot more people than his dresser drawer chemist. Keeps his concoction on top of the dresser. Big Pharma reaches a lot more people than him. However, now we've seen his concoction. We've seen how he puts together his concoction. He even takes a swig of his own concoction. There's really I'm going to post a link to this video down below. By all means, I encourage you to watch it. There's just one more part of this video that I think is interesting that I just simply like to point out. It's about how long this concoction has been in existence.
Favor, no te vacunes, no por ahora. The chlorine dioxide movement is huge in Latin America, and everyone from actresses to doctors promote it on social media. It's often referred to as MMS, or Miracle Mineral Solution.
Los que nos hemos curado con el dióxido de cloro, con ivermectina, con hidroxicloroquina y no queremos ser parte de un experimento, no nos pueden obligar a hacer vacunas.
Por favor, no dejen el dióxido de cloro hoy menos que nunca.
This isn't the first time bleach has been touted as a miracle cure. For years, people have been peddling it in Africa and Latin America as a treatment for malaria, cancer, and AIDS.
Wow. Malaria, cancer, AIDS. That is those are some pretty tall claims. However, the part that I wanted you to draw your attention to was that they said they've been doing this for years. Okay? I'm going to say it again. Matter of fact, let me see if I can let you listen to it again, because I am trying to get to a part here.
Actresses to doctors promote it on social media. It's often referred to as MMS, or Miracle Mineral Solution.
Los que nos hemos curado con el dióxido de cloro, con ivermectina, con hidroxicloroquina y no queremos ser parte de un experimento, no nos pueden obligar a hacer vacunas.
Por favor, no dejen el dióxido de cloro hoy menos que nunca.
This isn't the first time bleach has been touted as a miracle cure. For years, people have been peddling it in Africa and Latin America as a treatment for malaria, cancer, and AIDS.
For years, Latin America, Africa. Now, don't get me wrong. For years, good Lord, the Miracle Tonic, they even put it in the name, in its slang name, IS, some shit. What was it? Miracle, Mineral, something, I don't know, whatever. But they call it a miracle. It's pretty much what, in the Old West, American, not even the Old West, traveling salesmen, they prey on people everywhere. It is the Miracle Tonic. There was always a tonic, a liniment, maybe even a gizmo doodad. Strap this on your head at night before going to bed, and there's always some hustle that's out there because somebody's looking for a shortcut. Now, with all that said, I do want to draw your attention to the point that it has been used for years. Now, I have absolutely no idea if it actually has any type of curative power. If I were a gambling man, I would probably say no. Like I say, the whole thing has the stink of a carny, a sideshow carny, hucksterism, So I would say no. But how dangerous it is? Is it dangerous? Well, probably obviously, what was it? The Dark Knight? The sequel. Yes, the sequel. The drug dealer said to Scarecrow, "My business relies on repeat customers. If the drug sends them crazy and causes them to kill themselves after only one use, then it's of no good to me." Obviously, these hustlers, if they know enough not to manufacture an actual lethal concoction. Now, are there long-term detrimental effects to using this? I don't know. I really don't know. Just like we don't know if there are long-term detrimental effects to being experimentally injected for COVID. Okay? COVID injections are experimental, and we do not know the long-term effects of it. Remember, all of that was bypassed. The trial period, well, it wasn't necessarily bypassed. What's happening right now is the trial period. You're the trial period when you take this shit, okay? That's what's happening. They're still like that. They tell you to your face, "Oh, we're gathering data." Yeah, I know. It's called you. You're the data that they're gathering. Okay? Every vaccine injury that it causes, every death that it causes, right now it'll be swept under the carpet publicly, dismissed as something else. Underlying conditions, comorbidity are what's killing people. Well, that is, unless they're uninjected. If they haven't gotten the injection, then it was COVID that killed them. If they have gotten the injection, oh, well, no, it was their comorbidities. That's our story, and we're sticking to it. That's our story, and we're sticking to it. Okay. But they have been using this concoction for years. It probably has a placebo effect. People, if they believe it helps them, then they probably do overcome it. However, there is something that's very interesting as we go to talk about recovery. There is something that I was shocked at the honesty of what was said. I was shocked that Vice News reported this, that CNN allowed them to report this. Because it goes against the direct narrative of boom, doom, gloom, you will die, you will surely die. Everybody who tests positive will die unless you have our injection. Let's take a closer look at our surprise ending here.
Si el dióxido de cloro no tiene eficacia, ¿por qué tanta gente cree en el dióxido de cloro? He hablado con muchísimas personas que dicen que realmente el dióxido de cloro ha salvado sus vidas.
90% de la gente va a salir vivo del COVID. Haga lo que haga. Tome mercurio, coma pescado en grandes cantidades, tome dióxido de cloro, igual se va a sanar. Pero la gente está buscando soluciones sencillas.
Wow. I really didn't think Vice News would say something like that. Why do so many people believe in chlorine dioxide? And he goes on to tell them that 90%,
90% de la gente va a salir vivo.
90% of people are going to survive and recover. It's actually more than 90%. It's closer to 99 point whatever. you know. But the point is, I mean, hey, as far as I'm concerned, CNN Vice News confessing, you know, to 90%, that's a huge step forward into the realm of truth and science, you know. And of course, he goes on to give a very apt analogy. It doesn't make a difference what the hell you take. Most people's immune system are more than adequate for dealing with this simple coronavirus. Whether you want to think of the virus as we go into the third year as still being new, novel, whatever, it's still just a simple virus, okay? If you want to get into lab leaks and gain of function and stuff like that, I don't know. What was done in a lab, did it actually make it out of? I guess what I'm really trying to say is, was part of its gained function, its altered function, was to live fast, die hard. Maybe that's what I'm trying to say. Was it engineered to live fast, die hard? Kind of like, what was it, Stephen King's The Stand? When the virus first escaped, it was dropping people instantaneously. But as it mutated and evolved, as Dan Bongino's so fond of, he uses an insect analogy for his, vector of transmission. If a virus depends on humans touching, or either touch or breathing, respirating, or STD, touch, breathe, sex, If a virus depends on its vector of transmission on one of those three categories, then it has to keep its host alive long enough to spread, to spread to more and more people. It has to keep its host alive, preferably symptom-free for as long as it can. And then even after you develop symptoms, they're not, crippling, debilitating. Basically, the virus won't kill you until the very end. And that's what, but if it's a virus or a parasite that is transmitted, say by an insect, that doesn't need the human, it doesn't hurt the insect, but it will kill the human within days or hours, whatever the case may be. The virus doesn't care about the health of the human. It doesn't have to keep you healthy and mobile. It doesn't depend on you to transmit. It depends on an insect or a rodent or whatever the vector may be. So once you understand the vector, you got that versus, say, maybe a waterborne pathogen like Legionnaires, So that's why it can kill. That's why some viruses can kill humans much more quicker than others. As this epidemiologist says, 90% will be just fine. There is one more bit here to our documentary that I did want to talk about. They go inside of a hospital. Let's see if I can find it. Hold on. Here we go. This is a testament to why we need to, keep our eye on the ball, to stay studied up. We can't just simply depend on corporate media for our education. This is Dr. Jose Antonio Viores Soto. I hope I said that right. Obstetrician intensivist. That word, intensivist. An intensivist. Like I said, I forget if it was Hard News TV or who or was it? I think it was Hard News TV. I think it was Terry Lynn over on Hard News TV that brought me up to speed on exactly what an intensivist is. Um, an intensivist. An intensivist is basically a person, they are, for lack of a better terminology, they are God of the COVID ward, of the ICU, should I say. All of the entire ICU. When a hospital employs an intensivist, oh man, I wish to God I had more time to really let you know what an intensivist does. They are legalized angels of death. We hear about nurses, mercy-killing nurses that go around either in care homes or hospitals, and the deranged nurse goes around killing. Sometimes we'll see that in some of the medical shows that we watch. Basically, an intensivist has been alleged to be the legalized version of this. Not quite as blatantly performed, but the intensivist is going to be the person who has, number one, override power over your doctor, general care. If you were involved in a trauma, your surgeon, once you've been sent up to the ICU ward, the intake doctor, the trauma surgeon, because normally surgeons are the ones who overrule and outrank everybody, but not an intensivist. An intensivist is the person who's going to be the person that says you're beyond saving. Yeah, I could do A, B, C, X, Y, and Z, but honestly, for humanity reasons, yes, intensivists, what their job performance, their job description, it's shrouded and covered in a lot of really pretty humanitarian language. But basically, it just simply means that this is the person who can kill you legally. Now, in this particular segment of the documentary, it says here, his family told us he drank 1.5 liters of chlorine dioxide before entering the intensive care. Now, in this documentary, they also go on to talk about how chlorine dioxide, it's not black market, it's legal. Patients have the right to demand it. It's probably taxed, is what it is. It's regulated and taxed, and there's always a money trail behind these things, I swear. But they can do it now. How that it is formulated, because later in this documentary they do go on to talk about how people like our dresser drawer chemist, they formulate this thing where the toxic gases are released. Like I said, they have to keep repeat customers, the customer referrals. Why am I going to tell my best friend to take this if I know, I gave this to my children. Oh my God, it killed my child. And now I'm going to give it to the rest of my children or my friends and their children? No. So they have to formulate this thing where, again, I have no idea if it has any type of medical benefit or not. Probably doesn't. But it definitely isn't going to kill you. Or at least not right away. And the same thing could be said about the injections, although there are some people who have reported deaths very soon after. And of course, I just pointed out to you that literally their chlorine dioxide has been used safely, depending on how you want to quantify safety, drug safety. They've at least been using it for years. How long have you been using your experimental injection? Hey, you see where I'm going with it all, right? Okay. So granted, the whole thing has the stink of sideshow, carny, hucksterism, traveling wagon, miracle tonics. Oh man, the whole thing just seems like a gigantic scam. But for all its scamness, at least it has a very lengthy track record of safe use. And that's something the experimental injections do not have. Okay? And the experimental injections have been racking up death counts. They've been racking up the bodies, and the CDC and the World Health oligarchy, they're desperately trying to cover it and sweep it under. Let's just put it like this. The carpet at the CDC and the World Health oligarchy, it's getting lumpier and lumpier by the day. Okay? You got some mighty lumpy carpet here that people are standing on. I mean, it's like your carpet is just rippling. You know? You've got so much swept under the carpet. So I just thought that was rather interesting. You know, our intensivist here, as he goes on to talk about how his patients have been dying after taking the chlorine dioxide. I don't know. Maybe it did kill them. I really don't know. But I do know this. When the patients demand to have its use, it's up to this man as to how it's calibrated, formulated, and administered, in what fashion it is administered. So yes, there's a lot. You're going to have to just simply Google intensivists and learn about them. Who employs them, where they get their paycheck from, you know. So I did know, as soon as I saw that he was an intensivist, it did not shock me at all that he was anti alternative treatment. These intensivists, there's a reason why they have very, very high mortality rates. They are paid to kill people so that they can promote a very particular medical narrative. Now, I don't know if you've been paying attention since the beginning of this fake pandemic kicked off, but they have no problem whatsoever. This deep state, they have no problem whatsoever killing people to create their narrative, to craft and fabricate their data. Okay, and when you're willing to kill, let's just say it's true what they say with serial killers. Once you've killed your first, your next victims become easier and easier. So yeah, after the first round of ventilator deaths under the care of intensivists, ICU intensivists, once you become accustomed to the killing, once the killing becomes normalized, well then it's normalized. Your death is normal. The fact that I ordered treatment to be done in this particular way, to be withheld, to be given, not just only withheld, but to be given. We're going to put you on the ventilator. We're going to increase your sedation. You know? Was there any real effort at weaning you off of the ventilator? Well, we can't have everybody off the ventilator. We got to keep people on it so that we can have some kind of number to report on when we give our data to the governors. And the governors, as we all saw the past 2 years, they're holding their daily briefings, daily and weekly briefings. We got to give them numbers to keep the fear porn going. All courtesy of your intensivist. Bet you didn't know, huh? All right, guys, that's it for now. Stay watchful, stay vigilant, and definitely try your best to find your good sources. Here, hold on, I'll show you something. My BitChute subscriptions, people who I subscribe to. Of course, we hear 20 seconds ago, Terry Lynn, she must have just uploaded her latest episode. So these are people who relatively can be believed. I don't believe every last single thing that they have to say. And if I'm being honest, some of them actually can put out some real far out content or share far out content. Some of it isn't necessarily theirs. Rebel News. Rebel News. I really don't know how I want to proceed with Rebel News. I'm a little bit sick. I'm tired of the constant begging. It's a lot of money grifting going on there. I'm very upset. A couple of the pastors have just decided to pay hundreds of thousands of dollars in fines to the government. See, I'm not looking to support anybody that's going to be paying their fines. And honestly, at this point, I really don't know how much of a legal remedy. Rebel News is their Fight the Fines campaign. Their wins have been a little sporadic. I really don't, and that's not necessarily Rebel News' fault. The cancer has metastasized into the court system. That's not surprising, considering the Jewish oligarchy controls the judicial system. Okay, here in America too. Also, speaking of the courts, it's very troubling. We're seeing that the Supreme Court here in America, they're willing to take up the my body, my choice fight when it comes to abortion. But when it comes to my body, my choice, when it comes to experimental injections, I believe we had a couple of universities want the court to intercede and issue injunctions, putting a stay on these injection mandates. The court decided not to have anything to do with it. It's pretty fucked up. So in one one particular aspect, my body, my choice, you're willing to entertain. You're willing to entertain it, and need I remind you that this is a majority conservative Supreme Court. Like I say, the diabolical, this deep state, it is truly diabolical. It is definitely operating on both sides, both conservative and liberal. Like I say, I make no mistake about it. I mean, there's going to be a Ron DeSantis yard sign in my front yard for sure, but I haven't lost sight of the fact that Ron DeSantis could be a deep state agent. But we're left with so little choices here. And it's getting to the point with Rebel News, the people of Canada and Australia, honestly, because as you guys know, I'm a very peaceful person, and I try to advocate peace whenever possible. But you know what? Especially in Australia, I really don't think marches and protests are going to get them much farther. I think it is time for violence, a revolution, and for those of you who say violence serves no purpose, need I remind you, the Taliban just humbled the U.S. president. The Taliban just dictated to Joe Biden what the terms of exit will be, and you will adhere to it. There will be no exceptions. Okay? There's a reason why cartoon images of the Prophet Muhammad do not circulate regularly. For all of Charlie Hebdo's, we will not bow down and this, that, and the other. I bet you one thing's for sure. I bet you they'll never publish those motherfucking cartoons again. Now, will they? You see, you can put all this hullabaloo and pompous and pontificating, should I say. You can give all the good speeches in the world that you want, but when it comes down to it, when the rubber meets the road, whether it's by fear or respect, most likely fear, because I don't think anybody respects any of these international terrorist organizations. Nobody respects them. They're just feared. And you know what? That's okay by them. They'll take fear. Them not having your respect doesn't cost them 1 ounce of sleep. Not one wink. They sleep just fine. Do you want that kind of respect? That kind of power? Do you want to be able to live your life on your terms, the way the Taliban dictated its terms to the U.S. president? Do you want to be able to dictate your terms as a citizen to the president, to these governors? I don't know. Seems to me like maybe, just maybe, you want to start taking a few pages out of the Taliban's playbook. Just food for thought, you know? Just food for thought. Like I say, I'm a peaceful man. I want the world to get along in peace. I really wish to God that there was a lovely, rosy Martin Luther King, we shall overcome ending to this whole thing. But honestly, it's not looking that way at all. It doesn't look possible. They are deliberately interfering with the supply chain. Food products. Okay? This has nothing to do with an actual pandemic and everything to do with their man-made crisis. They literally show you the flotilla off the coast of California. Are you thinking? They're telling you that there is a shortage of this, shortage of that, shortage. What do you mean there's a shortage? You've got a whole flotilla of cargo barges, heavy to the mother-loving max, with cargo, with product. You simply will not bring it into port. Okay? You won't bring it into port, and they halted the importation, okay, before the mandates, before the injection mandates. And then when they finally did roll out the injection mandates, it then triggered a cascade of abdications. Drivers, dock workers, if you're going to force us to take that poisonous shit, we don't want it. Unload your own shit. Drive your own shit. Stock your own shit. Okay? Man-made crisis. 100%. And make no mistake about it. They know that they're mandates. It's all part of their plan to disrupt the supply chain. Okay? They are definitely resetting to the New World Order. Okay? Life behind the Iron Curtain. We're going to, it's a psychological operation to get you, the American, who's used to having so much, to suddenly become accustomed to having so little. Understand? You have so very little that when you do get the occasional nugget, wow, you think you've gotten something great. You feel a little bit better than the other guy. Got a bit more bounce in your step. And your idiot ass doesn't realize you allowed them to successfully push in your reset button. As for what sates you, what makes you feel successful, you've allowed them to reset that. Are you paying attention? Tim Pool, I'm not going to lie to you, Tim does get a little vaccine shilly, although I'm not entirely sure. I think he might be doing some dog whistle homage. I think he does a little, if you want the vaccine, get the vaccine. I think the vaccine's okay. The vaccine won't kill you, right? He goes on to talk about how he's a big staunch supporter of choice, and that's good. You should have support of a choice. I swear to God, if you were to play a drinking game of every single time the guy says, consult your doctor, you'd be drunk 15 minutes into his podcast. He can be a little shilly. But like I say, I'm not looking for perfection here. Just, it's you're going to get more information from these channels than you will from corporate media. Corporate media is nothing but a 24-hour injection commercial. Nonstop. 24-hour fear porn commercial. 6 cents. 6 cents. What can I say? 6 cents. Sometimes because they don't actually put out stuff that is actually their own. They put back out other stuff. Some of it can be pretty wacky. The Project Veritas stuff, that's good. Like never before seen blood doctor reveals horrific findings after examining vial. See, this, I haven't watched this, and I'm not going to watch it. Okay, it's just going to be a bunch of, they'll throw up slides. I have no idea where these slides came from. I'm sorry, you just can't simply claim it, and then I'm going to believe it. I don't believe Big Pharma. Why should I believe you? Okay. Like I say, there's a lot of strange. Oh, you know what? Dr. Nathan Thomas. This was a really good one. I enjoyed watching this. And not only that, but I made a beeline straight over to his YouTube channel. It's amazing. He actually has a YouTube channel. Wow. However, all the comments his comments are not enabled on his channel whatsoever. I wish to God he could create a BitChute or a Rumble channel. Actually, I haven't searched. He might be on Rumble. I don't know. But yeah, I subscribe to him on YouTube, and you should too. I found this, my jaw dropped. This I highly encourage. Matter of fact, I'll post a link to this. I'll go to his YouTube and I'll post his YouTube stuff down in the thing here. A lot of this stuff. Stu. I am subscribed to Stu Peters over on Rumble. Stu, 75% of the time I agree with Stu, although sometimes Stu can get a little off the rails. I wish that doctor of his, Ruby, it might sound weird, me, a gay dude, saying this, but I wish the doctor wasn't quite so pretty. I mean, she kind of has that porn vibe to her. Oh, doctor, my groin hurts. You better examine it. She kind of has porn doctor vibration to her. I wish she was a little older, gray hair or something. I know, what a horrible thing to say. I know, I guess maybe you can call it a backhanded comment. I think she's too pretty. However, when you do put your prejudice aside and you do actually listen to her, she is educated, you know. I'm not saying I believe everything that she says, but she is educated. So with the Stu Peters channel, I always keep my salt shaker handy because I'm taking everything that I hear with a grain of salt, a few grains of salt. You know, so when you come to BitChute, that's my whole point here, people. When you come to BitChute, keep that salt handy, baby, because this stuff, free thinker's been off the rails lately. You know, I mean, it's like. I watch one of every 5 videos that he'll put up on average. A lot of the stuff is just simply not my cup of tea. I don't unsubscribe because when he does come through with some good stuff, it's really good stuff. But a lot of it is a little whoo-hoo. Press for Truth, Dan Dix, great guy. None of the people I subscribe to, I believe 100%. But Dan, he's definitely up there in the upper 90 percentile that, you know, get a good thumbs up from me. So check him out. I'm pointing these people out to you because I get it. I get it. BitChute can be a quagmire of whack jobs and crazy ass content. So, what can I say, you know? I really have no idea if this is Project Veritas's official BitChute channel. I don't know. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. And Tim, he has a few channels that I subscribe to. Dan Bongino, he's a cool dude, you know. Dan is cool, dude, but you know what? As he talks every now and then, the old guard emerges. You know, a lot of the prejudicial-ish elements of the GOP will bubble to the surface, and it's like, yeah, see, Dan, it's shit like that. That's how he got into this fucked up predicament, you know? This is how the Conservative Party got itself into this fucked up predicament where it wasn't keeping its eye on branding. Because the Conservative Party, they were such a, you know, I don't give a fuck what anybody thinks about me, you know, and it's good to live a life where you are not slave to what other people think of you. I get it, that's a good thing, but the point that I'm making here is that the GOP, it took its eye off the ball for so long that it just didn't realize that it was being branded into a brand of pure hatred. Okay? And as society progressed forward, like I said, you know, I lived a couple of years with Republicans. I'm a black man. I'm gay. You know, they embraced me like family. And there weren't enough people in society who got to see that element of the Republican Party. Okay? You allowed yourself to become this brand that was synonymous with pure hatred. You know, Hitler, neo-Nazis, the KKK. You allowed that to happen. And because you have been rebranded like that, that's how the true fascist extremes, you know, the true face of evil was then able to come in and cause all this damage, you know. Dan's a good dude, you know, although, like I said, every now and then, bits of the old guard will come bubbling to the surface, and it's like, see, Dan. Same thing can be said with Rebel News. Same thing can be said there. You know, all of a sudden they'll be doing an anti-lockdown thing, and then all of a sudden they'll swing their cameras over to an encampment of homeless people. These lousy, filthy bums and blah, blah, blah. See, why are you calling them lousy, filthy bums when a couple of videos ago you were talking about the preachers who are feeding these poor, underserved people? See, you're using the homeless. You don't actually want to help us. You're using our cause to obtain your own liberation. And hey, don't get me wrong, we all want liberty, we all want freedom to choose, but you're not, see, you are not actually about equality for everybody. You're so busy hating, casting people down for not having enough. This is how you got yourself into this predicament. You jammed yourself up real bad. And by the time you figured it out, oh my God, I have no idea if it is too late or not. Because right now, I was talking to a buddy earlier today. All indicators, Dan Bongino, Anomaly, Tim Pool, a lot of people are talking about civil war, man. There's a lot of talk going around about civil war. I cannot believe I am at an hour. I honestly thought this was going to be a 15-minute thing. Okay, I'm not going to keep you any longer here. But yeah, these are the people that I subscribe to. Yeah, I subscribe to myself. All right, guys. Oh, you know what? I'll end on something funny. I have no idea. Latest video 5 months ago. This guy, talk about your neo-Nazis. This guy, he is a neo-Nazi, a self-avowed neo-Nazi. I like to listen to the enemy talk. You know, you can learn things, you know. It's good to keep an eye on your end. Like I say, you take your eye off the ball, man, and next thing you know. But there's a funny thing. He puts up these videos of, let's see if we can show you a couple. Yeah, he's on like Omegle. Yeah, there it is. Omegle or whatever it is, but I wanted to debate him, so I think that's his Natsko, however the fuck you pronounce it and whatnot. There he is with his little neo-Nazi name, and I guess this is what your dog whistle neo-Nazi symbol or whatever you call it. And I wanted to sign up to Omegle and debate him, and what is it? Artificially, okay. Dr. Nate, he just put up a new video. What do you call it? So I wanted to debate him, and I mean, I swear to God, look at that little faggot hair of his. Don't get me started. So he likes to take on people. He likes to punch down a lot. So my whole purpose in me wanting to sign up and get onto Omegle and debate him was to actually give him somebody who he could actually take on that can meet him, you know, that can maybe give him the fight that maybe his little bitch faggot ass is looking for. But anyway, apparently Omegle, or however you pronounce it, it's got the meeting, the video conferencing side, and then apparently there is a porn side to it that I did not know existed. And I accidentally signed up on the pornography side. And there's a whole funny thing about I ended up in the webcam section, and it was just, I had never been to webcams before, you know. I don't even, because I'm not giving nobody no kind of fucking money and whatnot. But as I'm scrolling through these models, like actors, whatever you call it, and there they are, and you know, a lot of it was funny, a lot of it was awkward and weird, and then there was just some parts of it that were just really sad. Maybe I'll save that for another time. But, you know, there was some parts that was just creepy. There was this guy, you know, if I had to say, he had this vibe to him that was like, who remembers Human Centipede Part 2, you know? He was like the black version of that weird-ass guy that never spoke. And he was naked and masturbating, and I'm telling you, not even masturbating, just simply... Just pulling on it, you know, with a blank stare on his face. This shit was just, it was monstrous. It was creepy. Anyway, needless to say, I never did debate my neo-Nazi. All right, guys, that's it for now. Try and add some independent journalism to your diet. That's my whole last 15 minutes there. That's what I was trying to say. Add some independent journalism to your diet because trust me, you will not get it on corporate media. That's it for now. Total Control 871. Stay informed.